All right, folks. Welcome back inside the janitor's closet. My name is Bryce Hunt, joined as always by football expert Josh Frey-Sam and Josh. Last week was an interesting one. Got into a little bit of a track meet with ourselves, ended up chasing it. Doesn't always work out, but in this case, week 17, it did for us as we recap week 17 with a 6-5 record. Those being our show plays on YouTube, matched up with our Twitter plays or on X, if you're calling it that nowadays. We were able to salvage a 6-5 week for plus 1.2 units, moving our season record to 59, 45, and 3 on the season. Not a bad spot, not a great spot. We're looking to build on it this week with the last week of the regular season already, Josh. We talk about it every week about how quick this thing's flying. And
Unreal.
I'll tell you what, we are in for a doozy. In week 18, we have about half the teams in the league starting back up or third string quarterbacks. Feels like the gambling community as a whole is kind of overthinking the whole player props as some guys reach their contract incentive numbers. We have teams playing for everything, we have teams playing for nothing. But out of all of that, we have picked out 4 plays on this slate, Josh, that we are locking in as our plays of the week.
Yeah, man, it's a big week. I mean, for starters, we're trying to get right before the playoffs here, and hopefully we can do so with these 4 plays. And also, I mean, not to mention, I probably got like another 2 or 3 plays that I really wanted to add to the show here. Like in that Houston Indianapolis game, we're gonna have a play in that. It's just I am really caught in the middle between those 2 teams with that. I mean, and so is Vegas, right? It's basically a pick 'em over there. Buffalo Miami game, the season finale, the regular season finale, is going to be a doozy. We're going to hopefully have a play on that one as well. And then even the Jaguars and Titans game is one that I'm mulling over right now as well. But we got 4 plays here, not to mention we also have our futures bets, which, by the way, for those who have been our longest standing followers, we are 5-2 on the year right now, plus 12.55 units. If you're keeping track at home on futures bets, and we still have 4 more to go, hopefully. We're hoping that Trevor Lawrence plays this week because you'd like to think that he can hit the number for us here on his passing yards as one of them. Got the Falcons and the Steelers to make the playoffs. The Broncos can pull out a win. Then they hit their season over win total as well for us. So a lot riding for us on futures bets and single plays this week, man. It's going to be a fun one. Let's get to it. But this was a tough one for sure with injuries and, like you mentioned, the backup quarterbacks. Who's playing? Who's not? Who's got something to play for? Who doesn't have something to play for? Who's just trying to upset? Right? You got situations like my Packers against the Chicago Bears, where Bears are out, but I mean, we know this is basically. I think Aaron Rodgers put it perfectly earlier this week on Pat McAfee. This is this Chicago Bears Super Bowl right here, baby. Any chance to spoil the Packers' hopes at a playoff spot? This is their Super Bowl right here. So you got the Packers playing for a playoff spot, got the Bears playing to play spoiler. There's a couple instances like that this week. But anyways, let's get into it here. We got 4 good ones. I'm feeling good about all 4 of these.
All right, well, let's get right into it without further ado. But before we do that, folks, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. This thing only is getting started, even though it's the last week of the season. Knowing Josh as well as I do, uh, he had quite the playoff run last year, and he's looking to replicate it this year. We're going to have picks for you the next week. We're going to have picks for you all through the playoffs. We'll have a Super Bowl special, I'm sure. There's lots more to come. Keep it locked right here on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and on X at TJC Bets, where we're going to keep putting out plays as we see them fit. Now, let's get started here in the NFC West, Josh. Let's talk about Seattle. Let's talk about Arizona.
Yeah, this is one of those ones I just finished talking about. Everything to play for versus nothing to play for. Seattle's fighting for a playoff lives right now. If they win, they give themselves a shot at the playoffs. Not guaranteed, but they give themselves a shot into the playoffs. Arizona, meanwhile, coming off a stunner over there against Philadelphia Eagles last week, where they took them. And honestly, I'm looking at this number and I'm like, I know Arizona's at home, but I wonder if Vegas kind of they're giving the Cardinals a little too much credit here for that win. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, beating the Philadelphia Eagles no easy feat. by any stretch of the imagination. They are the reigning NFC champions. However, the Arizona Cardinals are still not a very good team. We've talked about Kyler Murray since he's come back. He's going to have them relatively close in a lot of these games, but whether he's able to pull it out for this team is a completely different story. Seattle, again, you look at the spots for these two teams. Seattle's laying a short number here, -3. We're going to take that number here. Although they're on the road, again, they have everything to play for. I didn't hate how Seattle looked against Pittsburgh last week. There were stretches where they showed promising things. There were stretches where they definitely underwhelmed as well. But I think here against a divisional opponent who they know well, in a controlled environment in Arizona there in the desert, in the dome, I think that Seattle's going to have an opportunity here to put up some numbers, especially the offense, take advantage of a weak Arizona Cardinals defense. And on the flip side, hopefully they can take advantage of what's a so-so Arizona Cardinals offense. So Seattle -3 here. The road chalk. Back to it.
Okay, let's stay in the division here. We're going to talk about the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because you have Brock Purdy sitting, you got Christian McCaffrey sitting, then you have like literally every single Los Angeles Ram except for Puka Nacua sitting. Who Puka Nacua, I think he needs, what is it, like 30 yards to break the single season rookie receiving yards and then a record, and then he also, I want to say, is it like 4 or 5 catches to break Jalen Waddle's reception record, I believe it is, rookie reception record. So Puka Nacua, that's the only reason why he's playing this game. He's pretty much going to play the first half. Hopefully he hits that record and then he's checking out. With that being said, San Francisco 49ers they're going to miss a couple guys. I think Trent Williams is also not playing, maybe a couple other guys. But anyways, San Fran's still going to have quite a few weapons on the field, quite a few of their starters, at least for the first half of this game. With that being said, I think they completely outmatched the Los Angeles Rams backups, who is going to be starting Carson Wentz in this game. So I'm going to have Sam Darnold against Carson Wentz here. Sam Darnold surrounded by a lot of weapons here. I don't think Jordan Mason is obviously going to be a downgrade from Christian McCaffrey. However, he's shown some promising things in his time as well. I like him as a runner. So San Francisco first half -3 is the play in this game. Hopefully San Fran can just get out to the hot start that we expect them to. They overmatch the Los Angeles Rams backups. And then they sit for the rest of the game. Let's just hope that that's the way it plays out. But I really like this play. I think it's a strong one. They're at home. They're hopefully comfortable. Get the good vibes going into the playoffs. And like I mentioned, Los Angeles just isn't going to be playing a lot of guys here. Puka is the only guy there. So hopefully San Fran can take advantage here.
Yes, sir. Moving on to our next play, the Denver Broncos are visiting, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Goodness. Well, hopefully Las Vegas doesn't choke for us on this one. You know what I'm saying? Las Vegas -3 is going to be the play here at home against Denver. These are two teams in completely opposite spots. Like you have Denver, who is battling Sean Payton and Russell Wilson and everything that's going on there. Like the teams just can't be in a good spot right now. You know that, right? Jarrett Stidham also didn't look anything like he looked last year. Last year, sorry, I should say. He kind of fell short of that mark last week. So then you have the Las Vegas Raiders, who have been playing their butts off for Antonio Pierce, interim head coach, who's trying to put the stamp, the nail in the coffin. Hopefully, what we can only presume is the final bid at his playoff or at his head coaching hopes here for next season. Las Vegas wants to go out with a bang for their head coach. I think that's easy. They're at home. They're playing against a team that is just completely disheveled. We'll put it to put it nicely over there in Denver. So I like the spot here for Las Vegas -3 at home. Go win by 4 points or more here. I think they can absolutely do that. I think they're also the better team, despite Aiden O'Connell not playing well at all. He's been terrible, but this defense will carry them far enough to a victory. I think at this one in this one.
All right, Josh, and you mentioned the other NFC North matchup between your Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. We're going to talk about the two other teams in that division, Minnesota visiting Detroit.
Yeah, quite simply, man. This is these are two teams that do have something to play for. Detroit's playing for that number 1 seed. I think they're playing everybody, and then Minnesota is going to be playing Nick Mullins, yes, but Minnesota is still in the playoff race technically. They're kind of like in the spot of Seattle. They win, they give themselves a shot. It's faint, but they give themselves a shot nonetheless. Detroit still playing for something as well. Minnesota's starting Nick Mullins, who we know is prone to interceptions. However, Nick Mullins is also prone to the big plays. With that being said, and along with Detroit's offense coupled in this game, I really do like the over 45.5 in this game. We've seen this in recent weeks with teams who are fighting for playoff lives or fighting for something in the playoffs. Their totals are going over. The offenses, the coaches are getting more aggressive. The offenses are going for it. They're being a little bit more aggressive themselves. Maybe they're going for it on fourth down a little bit more. They want touchdowns, not field goals necessarily. So with that being said, I think there's going to be lots of points in this one. And also, these two teams historically, Minnesota and Detroit, this rivalry, they put up a lot of points against each other. I know that Brian Flores, a lot has been made about Brian Flores' defense. But Detroit's offense is obviously no joke. You know that they're great, especially at home here. I think Nick Mullins will do enough here for this Minnesota offense to push this total over 45.5. So we're going to take that one as our final play on the show. And like I mentioned, hopefully we come to conclusions on a couple of other plays here so we can make it an even more voluminous weekend for us.
All right, folks. So those are the 4 best bets for week 18 here. That's going to do it for this show. We mentioned keep it locked on X. Keep it locked right here in that comment section. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you've been rocking with the boys all season. We're going to release our end of the regular season numbers probably on X. Maybe we'll put a note on YouTube as well. If you notice inflated unit numbers compared to the record, it is because we're adding in those futures bets from the start of the season. Yeah, so to answer any questions on that, we appreciate the support, folks. We'll keep it locked next week for some playoff action, hopefully with 4 wins under the books, minimum. More on X. Josh, this is going to be an exciting week here for the boys.
Yeah, man, we started the regular season bringing out the sunglasses a couple weeks in a row, and hopefully we can start the playoffs bringing the sunglasses out as well. How special would that be? So hopefully super wild card weekend, we bring out the sunglasses and we get some momentum going all the way through to the Super Bowl, man. I'm looking forward to this. Let's get it.
Golly, imagine a couple sunglasses on this show, maybe a Ravens Packers Super Bowl. You know, there's a lot of things that we're hoping for on this channel, but let's start with those sunglasses, baby. Let's get this thing cooking, folks. We appreciate you watching. Bet responsibly. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you right here next week. That'll do it for us right here, folks.